Good afternoon, guys. One of the things we have to understand about ourselves, because it affects everything, is what's at our center. What are we centered on in life? And what I have found, and what I have read about, and what I have thought about and seen over and over again, is that the happiest people or the most successful people are centered on correct principles. And that's what we have to center our life on. We cannot center our life on anything outside of us, not even people. And I know it might seem selfish. It might sound like, how can that be? Especially when we're involved in intimate relationships or just close relationships with our family members. But we have to center on correct principles because those are the things that are within all of us anyhow. And so if we do that, we become the best we can be for them as for ourselves as well. Hope this helps everyone. Have a great afternoon.
The time I hit 7, it was clear I had some really big problems in math and reading, going back to the education, because I had a really bad case of dyslexia.
My favorite marketer is Princess Diana.
In a company where the whole team consistently hits goals, the culture becomes very sticky and nobody wants to leave.
Rise and shine, it's espresso time. Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I am not a morning person. But when you start your day with a powerful routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it can change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee, know that I believe in you, and get ready for a shot of espresso from Kevin O'Leary.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
When I was growing up, I was born from immigrants, an Irish and Lebanese, an Irish father, Lebanese mother. And by the time I hit 7, it was clear I had some really big problems in math and reading, going back to the education, because I had a really bad case of dyslexia. And so in those days, dyslexic, outcomes were bad because you really fell behind in school. And they didn't really understand how it worked. And luckily, I was very fortunate. My mother was desperate. She was trying to find a solution for this because I was falling behind really quickly in those critical years in early school. And so she found this woman named Marjorie Golick, who had an experimental. Sam Rabinovich and Marjorie Golick were researchers. They're published all around the world now. But they basically thought they could take dyslexic children after school, maybe 12 or 18, and put them into an experimental program where they try and convince the kids that dyslexia is actually a superpower that other people don't have, so that your confidence really advances. And that's what they ended up doing with me. They said, look, do you know anybody else in your class that can read a book upside down in a mirror? No, you're the only guy that can do it. That's a power. They wish they could do it, they can't. And so that started giving me the confidence, because dyslexia doesn't really retard learning, it just makes the incumbent tools in schools useless to you. I mean, nobody gives you a book upside down in a mirror. You have to learn how to deal with what dyslexia does. And that, once I had that solved, it was a very interesting acceleration that occurred. And you find in business today all kinds of founders of companies, like the guy that founded JetBlue, a really bad case of dyslexia. I think it helps you think outside of the box. And I've always thought business is half creativity that comes from the chaos of the arts and half the discipline of science. Business is binary. You either make money or you lose it. I think great CEOs, great entrepreneurs combine the chaos of art with the discipline of science. And I believe that to be the case. And I look for that in the people I invest in now. And I think that dyslexic, chaos for me was a pivotal point and a catalyst that I could build some of my, direction off.
Your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. The thing that you are the most insecure about, most afraid of, most worried about, that you tell yourself that you suck at, that thing can become your superpower if you let it. Just a little mindset shift to recognize that you are special, you are a unique snowflake, you are different, and to embrace that instead of trying to be normal in the thing that you're not. So for example, I look at myself and I'm introverted, I'm shy, I'm afraid to get on stage. My biggest fear is disappointing people. And for years, the biggest fight with my agent was that I didn't want to be famous. He would say, and this guy's, has been a huge blessing in my life, helped manage Mel Robbins and Grant Cardone and a bunch of other people. And I met him early enough on in my journey that he just, I guess, took a liking to me. He said, hey, Evan, the problem, most people when they come to us, they're great on camera, but they have no message. You're the opposite. You have a great message. You believe in what you're doing, but you suck on camera. I've been doing YouTube for 5 years at that point. Like, oh, ouch, you're killing me, Steve, that hurts. But he was right. And he took a flyer on me to try to make me better. And the biggest fight we would always get into is like, the problem with you is you don't want to be famous. Evan, you don't want to be famous. It's like, why is that a problem, Steve? I think that's good. I mean, famous people, I used to think had a big ego and, rip people off. And you look at someone like Kevin O'Leary and he seems to be like type A personality, extrovert, always talking to people. And that's not me. I don't talk to people. I don't like talking to people. I don't network. I suck at small talk. I'm introverted. I'm shy. I have no need to be famous. And we would fight over that for a long time until I recognized he finally said it in a way that, hey, the more people know you, the more people hear your message. And that finally sunk in, like, okay, well, actually, I need to, it's not even about me anymore, it's about the message. So I need to be the front man for this, and I need to spread the message more. But I used to feel like being an introvert, being shy, would always hold me back in this space. It's like I would do the best that I could, but I would always be second or third or fourth or like a millionth to people like Kevin O'Leary, because he's so outgoing and outspoken. And you look at the people on TV and you look at Oprah and you look at Kevin and you look at Mark Cuban and you look at these people who are just so seemingly outgoing. And I felt like, well, that's not me. So I can't do it. I'm not going to win. And in trying to be like them, exactly like them, I always failed. I always struggled. I always suffered because I couldn't do it. It felt not wrong, but it just didn't feel me. It felt like I was being fake. And it wasn't until I realized that, hey, you know what? Like, introverts want to serve too. I don't know why that was such a revelation, but it was. Introverts want to serve. I want to serve. I still want to serve. Introverts can still have a big message. Introverts can still be in front of the camera. Like, you don't have to hide behind everything. I still want to serve. Introverts still want to feel like we're doing work that matters, right? We still feel like that. I think that's a human thing, not an introvert extrovert thing. So how can I be a role model for introverts? How do we build a model based off of service? How do we show people a different way of doing it? And I don't have all the answers, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. But a lot of the work that I'm doing, most of it kind of breaks the mold. I'm working with two amazing marketing guys, and they've worked with some of the biggest campaigns, and they're doing the typical stuff right now with quiz funnels and squeeze pages and all of the typical marketing stuff. Like, I don't like that stuff. I don't like the idea of just doing a fake quiz just to get somebody's email address and not giving them value. Like, we need to find a new way of doing things. Like, well, who do you look up to the most as a marketer? And I guess they're looking at to try to find a style, right? They pick whoever marketer and we'll copy that. It's like, my favorite marketer is Princess Diana. Like, what? Princess Diana. Like, okay, explain that to me. Why is Princess Diana your favorite marketer? Like, well, she was introverted, she was shy, but she was still in the public eye. She had a whole bunch of responsibilities, but she had her own take on it, right? Like, the part of the royal family was always sharing and contributing and being of service, and she did it, but she did it in her own way. She took on causes that nobody else wanted to touch. And she used the spotlight on her to try to spread positivity. And I liked how she did it. She was the outsider to the royal family. And I mean, I don't know her entire story, but that part of it really appealed to me. It's like, who's this introverted, shy person, but still standing up for what she believed in and who she was. So how do we bring that to a modern day online marketing environment? I don't know, but that's the goal. Like, I know the heart of what I'm trying to accomplish, and we ended up calling it the heart funnel. So there's the quiz funnel, and there's the, I don't know, all sorts of different funnels. Well, this is the heart funnel. Like, how do you lead with heart and service? I'm happy to make as many videos as you want. I'm happy to do DMs to people. Like, I love welcoming people. Community is a big part of what I do. And so when most of the clients we work with try to work their way out of having to talk to anybody, they just want to make it as efficient as possible. It's like, well, I think that's the best part. Like, I think the community is the best part of all of this. So I'll make as many videos as you need me to. Say, well, I wish more of our clients thought like that. And so the whole point of that is not to build me up. It's just to show a different way of doing things. Like, I like being an introvert. I like leading with service. I like having a heart funnel. I like making videos to showcase things. I like recognizing people. I like doing video DMs for people. I genuinely like that stuff, and nobody else is really doing it. And so instead of saying, well, nobody's doing it, so I suck and I have to then fit into somebody else's mold, it's saying, no, let's break the mold and do something new that fits me, because that's then how I stand out. And the same thing for you. It's how you end up standing out. So it's taking that perceived weakness, something that I always thought was a weakness that would hold me back, and thinking I would, always be left behind, and turning that into something that's different and a superpower that I can really believe in. So how do we make that happen for you? How do you make that action step happen for you? Step number one is think about, what is your perceived weakness? Like, why can't you win? Ask yourself. You have to really ask yourself, why can't you win? What's the biggest struggle you're facing? Like, what about you intrinsically as a human do you think is holding you back? Not just connections or education, but physically, like, what do you think? Oh, I can't win because I'm a what? I'm a what? Fill in that blank. Because when you can get honest with yourself, it allows for a much clearer path forward. So what is that blank for you? I'm a blank. I'm not going to win because I'm a blank, right? 2, go find somebody who's done it. Kevin O'Leary found the teacher that showed that dyslexia was a superpower. I'm trying to create the model to show that introverts can be thought leaders and win as well. Find somebody who's done it. They may be a little more challenging to find, but even just using the right keyword, even just going to YouTube and searching, how is dyslexia a superpower? How is introversion a superpower, right? How is humility a superpower? Or whatever you think is your problem. And there might be lots of videos about how just to cope with it, managing strategies, as opposed to, those are the ones you want to watch, because those keep you stuck where you are. You want to watch the ones like, no, we're changing the game. Like, this is, you're actually better than these other people. Not to make yourself, in an ego way, but you have this thing that's in you is special, is different, is unique, and can make you excel where other people can't. For example, introverts, I think, are way better listeners. I used to think I would suck as an interviewer. I used to hate doing interviews, of being the person asking the questions, because I thought I would disappoint people, and I'm not a good conversationalist, and I don't like talking to people, so I would suck as an interviewer. But I'm a great listener. I'm an introvert, so introverts, I think, are great listeners. I think if you're a great listener, you actually ask better questions, because instead of just worrying about you getting your next thought out, you're actually paying attention to what they're saying, which allows you to ask a better follow-up question. Because the best questions aren't the initial questions, it's the follow-up questions. It's they said something and you're pulling on that thread to get more information out. So that's one way that I think introverts can win, because you're better listeners than extroverts. So you're trying to find, you go to YouTube and you look for people who are doing it, who are winning off of your superpower, right? So step one, identify what is your weakness. 2, you go to YouTube or Google and you start searching for people who think of it as a superpower. And then 3, you surround yourself with it as much as possible. Subscribe to those channels, buy those books, be around it constantly, because the world is telling you that you're a defect, right? The world is telling you that you're less than, that you don't belong, that you can't do this, that you're broken, that you're defective, and that you can't make it. That's what the world is telling you to do, right? That's what the world says. As long as that's in your world, you're going to believe that. The fastest way to change your belief is to change your environment. So you change your environment by surrounding yourself with those people. So have it on the wall, have the books, by your office, have a subscription. If my videos help you do that, subscribe to the channel, have it fill up your YouTube feed, have it fill up your Instagram feed, right? Even if there's only 10 people who even talk about it, great. follow those 10 people. Look at every piece of content they put out. Buy all of their books. Have it around your office and your home and where you are. Have your favorite quotes from them printed and put on the wall. And put it as your cell phone background and your desktop background. You don't need to have that many people, but you need to surround yourself with it in your physical environment, because when you see it consistently showing up, it'll start to trigger it in your brain that you could be this person too, that it is actually possible. When the world is telling you that you're broken, these 10 people are telling you that you're superhuman. That makes all the difference in the world. So step 1, identify what you think your biggest weakness is as a human. 2, find the people who think that's actually superpower. And then 3, surround yourself with them daily. You do that, it'll really start to shift your mindset. And when you start to feel like a superhero, if you can actually feel like a superhero, like you have a gift, as opposed to being broken, defective, and needing to be fixed, you shift that mindset, everything changes. Now I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? The science says that when you just watch a video, you get motivated, you get inspired, you have a 35% chance of following through on your goals. 35%! That's not enough. That's not enough just to get motivated. Believe Nation, we're here, you're here. Today matters. You're an action taker. When you commit to a plan of action, of when and how you're going to follow through. When you write it down, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you commit publicly to somebody else, it jumps to 95% chance. From 30-something% to 95% chance of you following through. Believe Nation, we need to make this happen. So question of the day, your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action specific for the next week. Put it down in the comments below, and I'm going to show on screen sometime next week to celebrate you.
Planning to buy a home? You'll receive 1% cash.
Let's talk about writing books, because I'm working on my 4th now. I'm hating every minute of it, but I think it's going to be my best. But I always say that with every book. How do you do yours?
This book came when I was on tour last year, and I was hitting the city every 4 days and doing a speech in front of a group, and the questions that people asked me, I just kept like a note of what people kept asking me over and over again, and then it turned it into
and you got, thematically, you would get some very questions over and over again that people had, right? And you'd say that is a kernel, that's an important question, because they keep getting it all the time. Is that the idea?
Yeah, I was on tour and people kept asking me, how do I find my purpose? How do I find my purpose? How do I find my purpose? It's like the number 1 question in every city across America. I said, well, that's pretty easy. You don't have to sit on top of a mountain for 10 years or hire a $20,000 business coach. You know, there's a 3-step process to find your purpose. And I just guided them through it. And then everyone's, hey, pick me, do it with me. It's like, okay, well, I'll turn it into a book. And that became Built to Serve.
Sounds good. I got to read that book now. That sounds pretty good. I got to find my purpose. I've really enjoyed our time today. It's
great.
You're a good guy.
Thank you.
I'm going to endorse you. It's fantastic.
Well, let me give you some data which you may find interesting, because I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. The majority of the money I've made in companies that I was part of founding and then were operated by another CEO, the majority has come from companies run by women. Now, like, I'm not trying to start gender warfare here. I'd give money to a goat if I could get a return. I don't care. But you have to ask yourself, what are they doing that is making these outcomes? And remember, these are multiple sectors. I'm talking about insecticide companies, gym equipment companies, commercial kitchens. We have a wireless charging company. I mean, they're all different. And yet the outcomes, women are better. Why? So we did some research. We said, we got to figure this out, because why don't we find out what the great companies are doing and share it with our portfolio companies aren't doing so well? And what we discovered was, rather interestingly, if you look at women-run companies and you look at, because we have all the data, what did they forecast for sales in a quarter? What did they achieve? And then look at the ones run by men. In the case of women, they achieve their goals quarterly 90% of the time, okay? 90. In the case of ones run by men, 65% of the time. Wow. But the men had sales targets 30% higher. So they were really doing what I call the testosterone stretch, really saying, let's go for it, and only hitting it 65% of the time. Now, why would that manifest itself in a difference in cash flow? You got to ask that question, right? Here's why. In a company where the whole team consistently hits goals, the culture becomes very sticky and nobody wants to leave. There's no staff turnover, there's no disruption in revenue, there's no disruption in accounting, compliance. The team is stuck together. And the ones where they only hit their target 65% of the time, there's a lot of unhappiness and angst, particularly in the sales force. And their staff turnover is much higher. So when we put this new policy in place, you set targets that you hit. We did this 3 years ago now with all the companies. I don't care if there's no growth in your target, but if you hit the target, we started to see lower turnover. And now in the companies that were not doing well, cash flow is up 18%. That's something you should, if it's the only thing you remember today when I'm talking about, set goals you can achieve and watch things happen. Because people want to work in a winning, it's like playing for Brady. Nobody wants to leave the team. The guy just keeps winning Super Bowls.
You know, everybody has a path in their career they plan on, but it generally doesn't work out that way. There's a series of events that happen to you along the way, and you don't know as they're happening because you only realize how important they were maybe a decade later when you realize it was a huge pivot point for you. Mine was when I was working in a summer job in college for a pet food company. And I had a German manager, a really interesting guy, and he taught me that most pet foods at that time were made from Sea of Japan tuna and chicken faces and beef lips and rendered, protein using mango juice to crush it up. Sounds horrific, but those are two basic engines, and then they'd add some peas or, some carrots, and they'd create cat food flavors. Decades later, when I was in the software industry, I realized that we were the leader in math and reading software, and here's where this story comes into play. All my competitors were spending a fortune building unique applications to advance reading and math scores. Those are the two big things you actually create software to advance if you're in education. And I thought to myself, that's crazy. This is really just Sea of Japan tuna and chicken faces. All we need are two engines, and we'll just add characters to them. And that was how the Learning Company became the largest software company in the world in reference in education. We sold it for $4.2 billion. But that manager gave me the idea to synergize around two development groups. So we'd buy a company, fire everybody, and just take the characters they had, and we cut our costs dramatically. Our costs of R&D were half the industries everybody was complaining, but how are we doing it? We're doing it because we understand that software is no different than cat food. I'm not going to give you marriage advice here.
The king is strong enough to dance on the desert. The apple head becomes the giant of the dance floor. You can expect to move and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir. The king is strong enough to dance on the desert. The apple head becomes the giant of the dance floor. You can expect to move and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir. king is back, his name is Nacho. Bounce, 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 and stomp the floor on his command. You will be trapped again and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir. Bounce, 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 the king is back, his name is Nacho. Bounce, 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 and stomp the floor on his command. You will be trapped again and dance to the rhythm. The king is back, causing all the fuss and stir.
Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Feeling the power of you controlling your breathing. Knowing, remembering, it's the same power we use to control our thinking. Now use that power. Use your determination to see in your mind today your best effort in all the exercises, stretches, movements we do here together. See it in your mind right now. See yourself doing the best you can, giving the best effort you've ever done for anything. Maybe you want to visualize the last time we did these exercises and stretches together. Go there and think right now about what you could do better or differently this time. It's the same process we use to grow our minds and grow the strength and health of our bodies and energy. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone today? Another day in the gym of life. Wherever you are, if you're at home, outdoors, indoors, let's go. Let's make this the best gym period ever. Here we go. All right, when I say go, we're gonna start jogging on the spot. But for now, if you would like, just to slowly warm up, you can walk on the spot or walk side to side, okay? So walking on the spot first or side to side, wherever you are. When I say go, we'll start jogging. Ready, and go. Again, remembering our breathing. Always controlling our breathing as best we can. And focusing on the movement of our body right now. The awareness of what we're doing. The awareness of being here together right now. United in the gym of life, always, wherever we are. Keep going, everyone, keep going. A few more seconds to warm up our bodies. Feel the power of your heart beating faster. Your breathing wanting to change and go faster, but you get to control that breathing. Always the way we control our thoughts. And stop. All right, everyone, walking. Just gonna walk side to side here. You can do the same. Remember to always move safely within the space that you have. Continue to take deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feel your heart, your breathing, all coming back to the previous state before we started jogging. All right, everyone, and let's start doing our stretches. Let's do shoulder rolls first. Here we go. Roll the shoulders forward 10 times. Big shoulder rolls all the way up to your ears as much as possible and all the way around. Let's do 10 forward and then 10 backwards. Feeling that tension and then that release as we come around. All right, let's go backwards. Feeling the joy of being able to move our bodies, to release some of that tension, maybe that tightness we might have. So important that we work on our bodies and our minds every day. As we work on one, we work on the other. All right, arm circles forward, everyone. 10 forward. Here we go. Slowly, all the way up and around. Excellent. All right, and backwards, everyone. Again, feeling the joy of your arms moving through space. You controlling your physical body. All through the most marvelous supercomputer in the universe, your mind. All right, good. Hands on your hips, everyone. Bend your knees and side stretch. Let's do 5 on each side. All right, excellent. Okay, let's twist our bodies now. Twist. Again, 5 on each side. Feeling the joy of moving our midsection of our body. Just the middle point of our body. All right, excellent. Okay, let's do 5 push-ups, everyone. Our best 5 push-ups. Here we go. All the way down, all the way up. The best you can. All right. And 5 sit-ups. Best 5 sit-ups ever. Here we go. All right, and stand up, everyone. Let's do 5 squats. Here we go. All the way down, all the way up. Down. Looking straight ahead. Feet flat on the floor. Excellent. Let's do 6 lunges, 3 on each side. Alternating legs. Arms out. Back straight. Good. All right. 10-second plank, belly's knees off the ground. Hold it there for 10. Excellent job, everyone. Okay, stand up. And reach for the ceiling or the sky, wherever you are, on your toes. Here we go. Reaching and holding it there for 10 seconds. Again, feeling your body, every part of it working to achieve the goal of holding this for 10 seconds. Excellent. And reach for your toes, straight knees. Go as far as you can. Remember, you may not touch your toes, that's okay. Reaching is the most important thing. Going for it. Doing your best without hurting yourself. Keep those knees straight. Excellent. And come on up. And let's balance. Grab one leg. Bend the other knee if you have to. And hold it there for 10 seconds. Keep fighting to keep your balance if you have to. Keep thinking. Channeling your thoughts to keep your balance. Excellent. All right, and switch. Again, pulling your leg back, feeling the stretch on the front of the thigh. Bend the other knee if you have to. Remember, if you lose your balance, you fall, you get right back up. Never give up, never stay down. Always do your best to get right back up. All right, here we go. Let's hug our knee now. Hugging the knee, pulling it up. Once again, thinking about what we're doing. Trying to find that balance point. Bend the other knee if you have to. Hold it for 10 seconds. And switch the other one, slowly coming up. Again, find that balance. Feel your body working to find that balance. Alright, excellent. Holding it for 10. Okay, and good. Let's sit down, everyone, and reach for our toes. Straight knees. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Again, thinking about our breathing. One great breath in at a time. One great thought in at a time. Alright, let's make a V shape with our legs and reach for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Just reach. Reach as far as you can go away from your body. And reach for one side, hold it for 10 seconds. And good, the other side, 10 seconds. Again, if you don't touch your toe, it's okay, just reach. Reach, always go for it, always do your best. If you feel a pain, make sure you come back a little bit. Okay, and feet together. Gently push your knees down with your elbows. Hold it for 10 seconds again. And always remember that breathing. Good air in. And bad air out. Good. And one leg forward, one leg back. Keep the knee on the ground. Go as far back as you can. Hold it there for 10 seconds. Alright, and switch to the other side. Again, keep that knee on the ground so you feel the pull on the front of your thigh. Doesn't matter if you're not all the way back with your back, it's okay. Alright, good. And roll onto your belly. Push the floor and look up at the ceiling. Cobra stretch. Here we go. Hold it for 10 seconds. Or look up at the sky if you're outdoors. Alright, and legs crossed again, everyone. Back straight. Eyes closed. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Now, using our powerful imagination to see what we will do when that music goes on. I'm going to play some of my favorite songs today. For each song, I'm going to hold an exercise position. For me today, I'm going to visualize and see in my mind holding the lunge position for each leg for the duration of the first song. For the second song, I'll be holding the V sit-up position as long as I can, for as long as I can, but I will continue right to the end of the song. How about you? Play your 2 favorite songs, or 2 songs that change your energy state so you can be your true great self and motivate yourself. Or you can listen to my music, but whatever you do, see in your mind right now the 2 exercises you've chosen to do, or stretches, or movements, or dances, or something that you want to do to work on your body safely when that music goes on. See it right now, clearly in your mind. Because you were born to do that. You were born to see it in your mind and make it real with your eyes open in the world. All right, here we go, determination, here we go. For me, it's lunge position. Here I go. Try to keep my back straight, keep that knee off the ground. If you're doing the same, again, do your best. Hold it there as long as you can. I'm gonna try to hold this leg for half the song and then hold the other side for half the song. And if you want, yeah, clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth, as Pharrell sings over here right now. I think happiness is the truth. We were born to be happy, all of us, no matter what. For me, there's no greater happiness than working on my mind and body all the time, wherever I go in the gym of life. And I hope the same for you. But remember, you were born to be happy, to be free, to be peaceful, kind, and loving, always. I'm happy right now. I hope you're happy right now. Because if you can be happy now, you can be happy forever. Wherever you are, no matter what. All right. Whew. Let's do the other leg. Shake it a little bit. All right, here we go. Don't let anybody or anything ever bring you down. You were born to be happy. That's up to you. Always up to you. No matter how hard things are, always remember your determination. Your power to determine, to make the positive, accurate, truthful, winning, loving choice. Always. To be good. To be your best for others, no matter what. Even when things are uncomfortable, like right now, this is getting uncomfortable for me. But I get to keep going. I get to keep using my determination. Because I'm happy, I love it. And I want happiness for you and everyone, the whole universe. And I pray for that every single day. Whew. Song's not over. I gotta keep going. Let's do the other leg. Let's do the other one. Yeah. Let's clap along, yeah. Happiness is the truth. for sure. Here we go. And switch the other leg. Here we go. Find that balance. Let's go, everyone. Clap along wherever you are. Happiness is the truth. Let's go. Thank you, Pharrell. You were born with happiness. You're made of happiness and truth. Oh. All right, I'm proud of your effort, wherever you are. Let's go.
Kira and Zach are collaborating.
All right, next song, everyone. Let's go. V sits for me. V sit up for me position. How about you? What are you gonna work on? Let's see. Whatever it is, do your best. Here we go. If you want to try what I'm doing, go for it. Let's go, everyone, together. If you got your own exercise, your own movement you're doing, go for it. It is a bright, sunshiny day where I am, right here, right now, doing this video for you, for all of us, for myself. I hope the same for you. But more importantly, I hope that it's bright, clear, and sunny, always in your mind, right now, wherever you are. Because that's always up to us. Oh, I love it. I love working on being our best in whatever we do. No matter how hard it might be, no matter how challenging. There should always be nothing but blue sky of thoughts in our mind. Clearness, clarity. We can do it. It's up to us. We were born to do it. To let those dark clouds pass, those thoughts, those negative thoughts. And remember the truth of what we are, who we are. Oh. Whew. I love it. I can see clearly right now. I know I got more. Here we go. Song's not over. Let's go, Mr. Francis. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Nick. Here we go. Keep going, everyone, wherever you are. Keep going. Let's go. This is the best effort ever we're giving, right? The best effort, no matter what. The way we do this is the way we'll do everything. Fall, we get right back up. Still not over. Song's not over. Let's go. Keep going. We fall, we get right back up. Never give up. Never. Never give up until it's a bright, sunshiny day in your mind, and we've done the best to help with other people with their mind. It's possible. All through your determination. Let's go, everybody. Oh, great effort. And here we are again. Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed, deep breaths in through our noses and out through our mouths. The way we began. The way it all begins, always. Always with our thoughts. Our powerful minds, which are always subject to our control, no matter how hard it's been to control them. we know the truth, don't we? We saw it today in our effort. We see it every day in life, in the gym of life. We know that we have the power to determine what thoughts we will act upon, and therefore we also have that power to determine what feelings we will allow to flow out and through us. Because our feelings are ultimately connected to our thinking. And if we control our breath with our thoughts, we can always control our thoughts and therefore our feelings. To learn and to grow and to be mind healthy and mind wealthy, peaceful, kind, loving, free and successful in whatever we do, wherever we are, no matter what. That's why we are already, whether we know it or not, determined nation. A people, a nation that always has the power to determine, to think, and to be positively, undoubtedly, unwaveringly loving, no matter what. Great job today, everyone. I love you so much. Another great time here together. This is probably one of our last for the summer. I hope you enjoy every moment, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Whether you're in a classroom, at work, at home, wherever you are. Enjoy every moment. It's been an absolute pleasure to be with you, to continue growing our minds and our bodies together. But remember the truth, no matter what. Wherever you go, wherever you are already in the gym of life, where you can always grow your mind and your body. I love you. Thank you so much for always helping me grow my mind and my body. And may today and everything we've done together, our time together, and wherever you are, with whoever you're with, may that always be an expression of who and what we really are. I love you, everyone. Have a great summer. I will see and connect with you as soon as the time comes. I love you all.
Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can just watch this video, or if you want to sign up for the whole series for free and get the bonus companion worksheets that go with each video, check the link in the description below. All right, so today is day 10, and we're going to learn how you can build your confidence.
We all want to be able to change the way we feel. That's what I spend my life showing people how to do. And what most people don't know is the emotion is created by motion. The way you move determines the way you feel. You have 80 different muscles in your face, 80. For most people, this is the largest area of unemployment in the country. They either make the face the same way, they feel the same emotions over and over and over again. So what I was saying is I have this deal with myself called priming. Every day I say, look, you got to have 10 minutes for yourself. You don't have 10 minutes for yourself, you don't have a life. And I'm not going to hope I feel good. I just got back 6 countries in 12 days. I was in India 2 days ago.
Wow.
And I woke up here feeling like somebody ran me over with a truck.
But you got yourself psyched up.
But the way I did it is I do this process. It's 10 minutes, I put some music on, I do this massive change in my breathing so it radically changes the way I feel. And then I do this 3-step process. First, I do 3 minutes of gratitude where I think of 3 things I'm really grateful for, and I don't think of it over there, I feel do it. And the reason is, when you're grateful, you can't be worried. You can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. And anger and fear are what screw people up most in their relationships, in their life, in their business. So I wire myself. I was saying to you that most people want to be happy, but their habit is to be worried or pissed off or frustrated or stressed. And so they've got a highway to stress and they got a dirt road to happiness. So I wire myself. I've got a highway to gratitude, which changes all your emotions. And then I do a 3-minute process of kind of a prayer for my family and friends. And then I do a 3-minute process of the top 3 things I want to accomplish. I see it as done and I feel it. I'm done in 10 minutes. So sometimes I go 20, but my deal is 10, so there's no excuse not to do it.
How do I gain more confidence?
It starts with yourself, man. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to a spot that makes you feel good. It's going to be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what made you confidence or what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot? No. What gives you confidence, what gave me confidence, was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own, realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't, but I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. I used to stutter severely bad. So right now, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this. You know what gives me confidence? Is knowing I no longer care if I sit here and start stuttering to you.
Yeah.
That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them and facing them and facing them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built. But people want an easier answer.
Yeah.
There has to be an easier way. There's not. I'm sorry. I searched for it my entire life.
When I'm with cooler or popular guys, I feel inferior and worthless, which affects me. And weirdly, I try so hard to impress them and be like them like a chameleon. I try to avoid them, but I feel left out. Whatever I do, I feel sad or useless. What can I do in order to overcome this? You don't have to hang out with people you don't like. There's a pro-life tip for everybody. You don't have to. One of the things that is a massive indication that you're hanging out with the wrong group of people is that you don't feel comfortable being yourself. The second you try to be somebody else or you feel like a chameleon just to fit in, you are trying to fit in with the wrong group. Relationships only work when you can be the real you. People thrive on energy. That's what drives connection. You're with people that make you wither and hide and feel insecure. You are with the wrong people. If it's hard to be around people, you're with the wrong group of people. When relationships work, they work because they click, and the reason why they click is because you can be the real you. They don't make you feel inferior. You're making yourself feel inferior by hanging out with people and pretending you're not yourself. So every time you're hanging out with a group of people and you act like a chameleon, you're actually invalidating yourself because your own actions are telling you you're not good enough to just be yourself around these people. So the only way to deal with this is either show up with that group of people and be your full self. And every time you think something inferior, just knock that thought out of your mind, say what you really believe, be interested in what you're really interested in, or the easier route, honestly, drop the popular kids and find your people. You need to find your people. And your people are the kind of people that the second you hang out with them, you don't feel like less of yourself, you feel like more of yourself. You don't feel like you gotta hide or be somebody else. You feel like you wanna express yourself and show up and be more of yourself. That's the indication that you have found your people.
Study the alchemy. Now here's what I mean by that. What happens to most people in life, especially the victims, is they reach a part of their life, a difficult time, and they call it failure. I mean, even just labeling a setback as a failure triggers something into your mindset to release cortisol, the fear hormone, which blocks your best performance. And so you want to see yourself and you want to study the alchemy, which is where other people are seeing a failure or a setback or even a little problem, you want to look for the gold. You want to train your brain so you have a dominant belief. It just becomes automatic because you've practiced it so much, where when someone says there's a problem or there's a wall or there's a failure, you literally see the alchemy to turn the lead into gold. Maybe you're going through a divorce. Maybe you're going through an illness. A lot of people who watch this podcast are going through difficulties or outright tragedies. But you want to practice seeing the setback or the dark time as fuel to leverage your growth. And so on this first point about study the alchemy, no matter what you're going through in your life, whether it's a large difficulty or a small setback, you want to ask yourself, how can I use what I'm going through as fuel for my growth? You want to ask yourself, what is the gorgeous opportunity hidden inside this so-called problem? I mean, and if you look at the mass of humanity, they really train their brains to focus on problems. Right? They hit a wall and they just, because of their belief system, they don't know it because most people are not really that aware of their belief systems. So they blame it on the world. They blame it on the supplier. They blame it on the teammate. They blame it on their husband or wife. They blame it on their childhood versus understanding our daily performance reflects our deepest beliefs. And so if you are experiencing some kind of a setback, whether it's large or tiny, you want to train your brain to see the treasure within the lead.
And one of the greatest hang-ups that people have is the belief in themselves. They suffer from something called self-doubt. Many years ago, I read something. It was by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It was this essay on self-reliance. That's what we want to do. We want to rely on self. And in that, he said, there would come a time in every person's education when they'd realize that envy is ignorance and imitation is suicide. So many people look at someone that's doing very well, possibly in the same field they're in, and envy them. Do you know what that's saying? That's saying, I don't know that I have the same mental faculties you've got. I'm drawing on the same potential that you're drawing on. There is only one mind. I don't know that. So I'm going to envy you thinking you can do something I'm not able to do. The truth is, if you can do it, I can do it. Envy is ignorance. It's not knowing that. And he said, imitation is suicide. Do you know that nothing in this universe would move in the precise order it moves in your absence? That's true. Everything in the universe is essential. You take any part away from anything, it's not complete. And everything in the universe moves in a very precise way. So do you see, we shouldn't even want to be like anybody else because we are unique. We are truly unique. There's something like about us that you'll never find in another person. We're unique. And we've got the godlike ability to think. Now, what is self-doubt? Self-doubt is the opposite of self-confidence. Confidence comes from understanding. Like I would imagine you're confident you can drive your car. In fact, you're so confident that you'll be talking to somebody on the phone, you'll get in the car, you'll start the car, you'll drive, and you'll drive maybe 4 or 5 blocks, not even being aware of what you've done. It's all done automatic. Your concentration is on the conversation you're on. Now, when you first got in a car, you couldn't do that. The car was probably jumping all over the place, and you thought you'd never learn how to drive it. But you learned how to drive it, now you're quite confident. You're confident that you can get dressed when you get up in the morning. When you were a little boy or a little girl, you couldn't do that. You had to be taught to do it. Well, you know, self-confidence comes, like all confidence, it comes with knowledge. And the more you study you, the more you understand who you are, the more confident you'll become in your ability to do whatever it is you're doing. And you'll know that if you lack confidence in an area, it's because you lacked information in that area. Never doubt yourself. And when you do, understand that the cause of that doubt is not lying within you, it's in wrong thinking, it's in not understanding who you are. Study yourself. Self-study will develop self-confidence, and self-confidence eliminates self-doubt.
Where does self-confidence come from?
Right, which is important because there's no relationship between that and eroding your self-confidence. In other words, self-confidence is really self-trust. So the first thing is, the people I know that are really happy are very self-aware. In fact, the best entrepreneurs I know are very self-aware. They're aware of their shortcomings, right? They want to improve them. They want to get to the next version of themselves all the time. And so for me, self-confidence comes because I didn't have it. And I think anytime you meet somebody like yourself or myself who might now appear self-confident, it's because I really had to find tools and resources because I was so insecure and shy and introverted. So I had to find techniques and resources to build that up in me. And for me, it's very simple. It's the promises that I keep to myself. If I have a habit over and over of beginning to stack one on top of the other, of keeping promises I make to me, not other people. In other words, the minute you begin to get external in your life, worrying about what other people think about you, right? You've lost all control. And it never fills you up. And people's admiration, people's gratitude towards you will never fill you up. It's your own. It's your own inside. And so for me, self-confidence comes from keeping the promises I make to myself. And the other part of it is being aware I'm doing it. In other words, most people don't give themselves enough credit all the time. They're very aware of these 20% things and not aware of the 80, right? And that's why the dosage is so important too. You've nailed it. It should be 80-20, right? Because people get addicted to this. I'm not good at this. People don't like this about me. I don't feel good. Instead of focusing on the 80 and stacking it up. Wow, I did eat what I said I was going to today. I did get up when I said I was going to. I made the amount of phone calls. I treated people in such a way I promised myself. It's not just doing those things. It's rewarding it. It's being aware of it and stacking that up.
Hang on, don't skip this one. My name is Samantha and I live here in Ontario, Canada, and I am also an
I always grew up heavy set, like larger than most people in my class or my family, like the younger girls in my family. My immediate family, my mum and my dad, they never really made me feel that way. Like in all of my videos of when I was younger, I'm in front of the camera, like super happy. My mum was like an instructor, like a fitness instructor. She had like 6-pack abs when I was growing up. Yeah, she was super fit. She would kind of drag me to all of her classes. But I noticed it most when I started going to school, obviously. You end up seeing people around you and the girls around you and the type of people that end up being liked or disliked. And you realize that actually ends up being a lot to do with your physical form.
I want to go to what you said about your mum having 6-pack abs.
Yeah.
Like, did it dawn on you at the time? Like, was there any envy or did it make you feel badly, or you were like, no, I was just a happy-go-lucky kid and it was cool that my mum had abs?
No, I definitely felt it. Like you definitely feel it from a young age, and emotionally it was more when people would make comments about it, or when you can't fit into things, or when you see yourself in like a video with the rest of your family or your cousins and you're like the chubby kid in the corner, you know, you don't. But the confidence level, I think, only changed when I got to school, and I was surrounded by girls who I thought were more beautiful than me or skinnier than me. And it's so weird. I always feel that now, looking back, thinking that fitness was always related to how skinny you were. Like that was my image. Growing up, that's all I thought. That to be fit, that means you have to be really, really slim. And it wasn't necessarily because of my mum, but it's just what you end up growing up looking at all over the place is women wanting to be super slim. And in my eyes, that meant for me to be fit, I had to be skinny.
So how did you not let that erode your self-worth? Or did it erode your self-worth?
I think it definitely did, because growing up, your self-worth, I feel, is based on everybody around you. When you're a teenager, it's how many guys like you or whether the guy you like likes you back. That ends up defining whether you love yourself or whether your friends love you. You're not stable, you have no rooting, and so everything that you base your love for yourself on ends up being external. And so I definitely had ups and downs of really thinking I was something when somebody liked me, and then when somebody didn't like me or my friends decided not to be friends with me, I would dislike myself. And so everything was based on external validation, for sure.
And how did you stop that loop then? Or when do you remember the first time you recognized it, that it was a loop?
Yeah, I felt that way for a long time, that I felt something was missing. Like I knew that my love for myself could not be based on other people. There had to be something else that I could have a foundation of, okay, fine, there can be ups and downs, but I never go down to a low where I don't love myself. And I definitely think meditation was the turning point for me. And I felt that because it was the one time in the day where I would end up spending time with myself. Like I feel like people don't do that. We spend time on everything to do with hair and makeup and clothes and on other people, looking at other people, talking to other people. But I felt like I wasn't spending any time actually thinking, who am I? Like, I don't know who I am. And I feel like in a relationship, whether it's with yourself or whether it's with somebody else, you have to know yourself, to love yourself. We never get into relationships with people or friendships with people without knowing them. You can't fall in love with someone without knowing them. And so I felt like, okay, who am I? Like, I actually don't know who I am. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I dislike. Everything that I like or dislike is based on other people. everything that I like about myself is based on other people's lives.
They're
with myself.
saying like, oh, you've got beautiful eyes, your hair. So like, my eyes and hair must be lovely.
Exactly. And so everything is to do with, oh, they like it, so that must be who I am. And so I felt meditation was the first time, or just journaling was the first time I started writing down things I like about myself or don't like about myself. And so it created more of like a relationship with me. I was having a relationship with myself finally, rather than my perception of myself because of other people.
God, I love that.
There are some people around us who just seem like they are born with natural confidence. You know who I'm talking about. They're super smooth, super confident. They always know the right thing to say. Think about President Obama. He just seems like a smooth guy. Think of one of his famous "Yes, we can" rally speeches. Not being political here, just talking about his oratorical skills. What do you notice about how he speaks? He's powerful. He's decisive. He speaks slowly and almost never stumbles or stutters. His points are clear and they're to the point. He's the epitome of confidence when it comes to a speaker on stage. So when you look at somebody like him, it's very easy to assume that he has some innate ability that he was born with. Either you have it or you don't. But the truth is, confidence is a skill. And President Obama, just like all confident people, built that skill. He practiced it over a lifetime. So here's a simple example of how you can control your confidence in less than 20 seconds. Take something you routinely say, like what you did this weekend, and change the way you say it. I want you to channel your inner super confident person. It could be Barack Obama. It could be Susan Sarandon. It could be whoever you want. Don't focus on who it is. Don't even worry about what you say. Instead, focus on changing how you say it. Sit up straight. Speak slowly. And imagine what you're saying is incredibly important because the people listening want to hear it. Let me show you an example, a little before and after. I can't even remember. I mean, I think it was pretty good. It was actually pretty crazy, but I just went to a movie and saw some friends, you know, the usual, I guess. Now let's compare the after. We had a great weekend. I was with the kids on Saturday. Then Michelle and I caught a Broadway show and finished the night at that new sake bar downtown. Now, what'd you notice? Notice first that I'm intentionally using someone else to role play. This really lets us get into play acting without worrying about our own life, our own Saturday. Ooh, maybe I don't have as cool of a life as going to a sake bar. Don't worry about that. All we're doing here is working on our delivery. Remember, nobody sees inside of you. They don't see how confident you are, how much work you spent practicing. All they see is the way you answer a question or the way you sit when you're talking to them. So when it comes to confidence, confidence can actually come from the outside in, not just from the inside out, which is what everybody tells you. So instead of waiting for it to just magically appear, where's my confidence? Where is it? We're actually changing our behavior, something everyone can do, and we're letting the confidence follow. The external influences the internal. And once you master this concept, you can apply it to a lot more than just how you speak and how you sit.
I want you to borrow confidence from the past. You see, when we're doing something where you have to muster up the confidence, we think of the things that could go wrong. We think of, well, what if I don't come through? What if I don't say the right things? I need to rehearse this over and over. What if? What if we change that? And instead of thinking about what could go wrong, of course, we know this, start thinking about what can go right. But better yet, rob confidence from the past. Go look in your past at times when you weren't sure if you'd go through, but you made it happen. When you thought you wanted the girl and you got the girl, or you got the guy, you got the job, you got the deal, you got the money, you got the sale. A time you scored the touchdown, you got the run, you were good at band, you were the star of the play. Rob confidence from the past. Remind your body, remind your cells, remind your subconscious what it felt like and bring it into the present time. I'm telling you, you can transcend that old confidence into your current state and watch your state of mind change just like that.
I get kicked out of college. I got kicked out of college my second year because I didn't want to continue to run track. I took my team undefeated the first year.
Wow.
And they went from not having won a track meet in 2 years at all to going undefeated in 1 year.
If you could attribute what allowed you to lead the team to do that in one or two insights, what would it be?
I had unwavering confidence.
Did you cultivate that, or was it natural? Was it cultivated at home, or was it personally cultivated?
My dad and my mom, I don't know if it was brainwashed or encouraged me. I could do anything.
Yeah.
Like opposition didn't scare me. It's never have scared me. Like I don't look at how big the mountain is if I can climb it. I go, are we gonna climb it? And what do we need to climb that size mountain? You don't measure if I can do something based on the size of the opposition. You decide we're gonna do it and then decide what to do for that particular scenario. Very different strategy.
When you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see and what do you say to yourself?
Probably the most egotistical things that I say. I'm probably most egoed out when I'm talking to myself, which means that I've got a lot of confidence and ego. I really, whenever I talk to myself in the mirror, it's always the same thing, which is like, you're gonna do it, man. You're good. Like it's real good stuff. And it's not like false pumping up. I only do it 7 times a year, but like something would have just happened, either adversity or something great. And I'll look myself and say, we got this. I got a funny, Kevin Durant walked off the field, off the court the other day against the Warriors. And it was a big game, day before the Super Bowl, and they lost. It was the first time they played, and the Warriors are having probably the greatest season of any basketball. Right?
Yeah.
And he did something that me and AJ took note of. He kind of shook his head and said, okay, yeah. And he gave me that like, okay, you won, but we'll see you. And we got a shot. I got this.
Right.
And that's what I do with myself. Like if something good or bad's happening, I'll look myself in the mirror and I'll just say, like I know I'm built for this.
We like people who say, I've got something to offer the world. And people are very reassured by confidence. You know, we're all scared that we're going to come across as arrogant, but if you're on a flight and you hit turbulence, you want a confident pilot. If you're sick, wouldn't you like a really confident doctor to go, oh, I'm the best doctor in New York. I'm going to make you better. You don't want to go, well, I don't want to brag. You know, I'm sort of okay sometimes, but, you know, he's better than me. We don't want our kids' teacher to go, well, I'm not the best, you know, I have good days. We want them to go, I'm the best teacher, and I'm going to give you back your kid in a year's time, radiating confidence and talent. You know, we pay for that, and yet we're so scared of saying, I've got a gift, I've got a skill, this is what I'm good at.
You see the two biggest enemies to success. Number 1, self-doubt. Number 2, fear of the unknown. We struggle with self-doubt. We worry, are we ready for this? Are we good enough? Do we actually have what it takes to succeed? Confidence is nothing more than believing in yourself. And believing in yourself is nothing more than doing the things that you once didn't believe that you could do. You see, confidence comes from competence. It's easy to believe in yourself when everyone believes in you. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about believing in yourself when you're not ready. Believing in yourself when no one believes you. Believing in yourself when everyone doubts you that you cannot do it, that you cannot make it, that you don't have what it takes. That is when you need to develop that unshakable self-confidence, that believe that you can do it. And confidence is not the same as arrogance. You see, arrogance is thinking that you're above everybody else. Confidence is knowing that no one is above you. Do you feel confident enough in your own abilities that you can do what it takes? Are you willing to bet on yourself? Not just words, but action. How often you invest in yourself? Are you willing to put everything you have on the line for your goals and for your dreams? Do you bet on yourself, or do you procrastinate? Do you hesitate? Are you a perfectionist? Do you suffer from paralysis analysis?
Is the confidence level good? Do you feel nervous about bringing new music?
Self-Esteem.